Have you ever really stopped to think about how your home is shaping your child? I mean, really shaping them. Today, we're going to dive into the Montessori philosophy and see how we can turn our homes into the absolute best environments for our kids to thrive. Let's get into it. So, Dr. Maria Montessori gave us this incredible concept, right? The absorbent mind. What she meant was that for a young child, their surroundings aren't just background noise. Oh no! They are the literal, actual building blocks for their brain, their personality, everything. Whatever they see, hear, and touch, it literally becomes a part of. And here's a really beautiful way to think about it. Your home is the soil your child grows in. It's where they get all the nutrients they need to put down strong roots, to feel grounded, and, to ultimately blossom. So the way we prepare that soil, it makes all the difference. Okay, so how do we prepare that soil? Well, it all starts with this core philosophy called the prepared environment. And listen, this is not about buying fancy toys or expensive furniture, not at all. It's a mindset. It's about learning to see your home through your child's eyes. A prepared environment isn't just about being neat and tidy. At its very heart, it is an act of love. When we intentionally design our space to meet our child's needs, we're sending them this powerful, unspoken message: you are respected here. You are capable. You belong. And of course, this environment can't be static, right? It has to grow and change right along with our kids. A preschooler, they need space to move, to explore with their hands, to be independent. But an elementary-aged kid, their whole world shifts. They need room for what Montessori called big work. You know, those huge, sprawling projects? They need books and resources for those deep dives into whatever they're curious about. The environment has to keep up.
I know this might sound like a lot, but it really boils down to three simple, super powerful principles. So let's break down the what, the things you can actually focus on to bring this all to life, no matter how big your home is or what your budget looks like.
First up, fostering independence. Every single time your child says, "I can do it myself," that is a huge developmental leap. So our goal is to create a space where the answer to that is almost always, yes, you can. That is how we build real, lasting confidence.
This picture just shows it perfectly. Look at the left, a sink built for an adult. For a kid, that's just a source of frustration. But on the right, with one tiny change, a simple stool, their whole world opens up. All of a sudden, they can wash their own hands, get a drink of water, help you rinse a vegetable. A daily task just became a moment of pure empowerment. Okay, principle number 2 is creating order. And for young kids, this is huge. When their outside world has a clear, predictable order, a place for everything and everything in its place, it helps them build an internal sense of calm and security. It makes the world feel safe and, manageable. And this starts the moment you walk through the door. Having a low shelf for their shoes and a hook they can actually reach for their bag, that's not just about being tidy. It's about creating a predictable, calming routine. It anchors that transition from the chaotic outside world to the sanctuary of home. Or think about the bedroom. That classic morning power struggle over what to wear, instead of a closet just stuffed with clothes. Imagine a low rod with just a few great choices they can reach. All of a sudden, that struggle just vanishes. You're empowering them to dress themselves, and they get to start their day with a win. And order also means giving them the tools to help maintain it. Having a small broom and dustpan within their reach sends this incredible message. You are a capable, contributing member of this family. When you make a mess, you have the power to fix it. This builds responsibility, not shame. And our final principle is all about the soul of the home, embracing beauty and connection. Now, this is about way more than just how things look. It's about creating an atmosphere that feels warm, inviting, and really reflects your family's unique spirit. This could be as simple as having a few instruments out where anyone can play them, or a little corner with art supplies where the family can create things together. When we design spaces that actually draw us together, we're making room for shared memories. We're making every single person in the family feel like they truly belong. Okay, so we've got our 3 principles: independence, order, and connection. So let's do a quick tour and see how this all comes together in the real world. In the kitchen, a learning tower can be an absolute game changer. It takes the counter from being this forbidden, out-of-reach zone to a shared workspace. A kid who helps chop the vegetables or stir the batter is way more likely to actually eat the meal. They're part of the lifeblood of the home, making food together. And what about creativity? Well, when art supplies are organized and accessible on a low shelf, inspiration doesn't have to wait for an adult's permission. A child can just act on that creative impulse the moment it strikes, which fosters spontaneity and real confidence in their own ideas. And you do not need a giant library to raise a reader. A comfy chair, some good light, and a few books displayed where they look inviting, that's really all it takes. Creating a cozy, special little nook makes reading feel like a treat, a retreat, not a chore, and that can build a love of books that lasts a lifetime. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the physical stuff, the things you can see and touch, but there's this other layer that is arguably even more important, the unseen environment. This is the psychological atmosphere of your home. It's the feeling your child soaks up every single day. And this really comes down to 3 things we can do. First, show love. I don't just mean saying it, I mean truly showing your joy and just being with them. Second, practice acceptance, letting them be who they actually are, not who we think they should be. And third, build trust. This is the hard one. It means letting them help, even when it's slower, even when it's messier. That trust is the bedrock of their self-confidence. So, what's the long-term payoff for all of this? I mean, it's not just about a tidy house or a kid who can get their own snack. The real fruit of this work, it blossoms years later. The goal is to raise young adults who are self-directed, who have a strong internal compass, and a solid sense of who they are, completely unshaken by peer pressure. So, the takeaway here is not about a massive, stressful home makeover. It's just a simple shift in perspective. So, forget the big overhaul for a second and just ask yourself this. What is one small change you can make today to see your home through your child's eyes, and in doing so, open up their entire world?